Hello, everybody. Today we are here with my friend Caroline.
Hello.
And Caroline, I met you about 7 years ago
Yes, ma'am.
almost here in this building
Yeah,
when we were Onso Pregnancy Resource Center.
it seems like forever ago.
It does. And then, like yesterday at the same time.
Yeah,
Maybe not for
absolutely.
you, but for me for
Yeah.
sure. So today we're just going to ask you some questions. I want everybody else to get to know you as well as I do,
Okay.
just about Onso Pregnancy Resource Center, which is Hope First now.
Yes, ma'am.
So, do you mind just explaining to us a little bit about what brought you to Hope First in the first place?
Yes. So the initial start of my pregnancy, my son's father and I were homeless.
Mhm.
We were walking to and from Centerview Baptist Church, and we were getting resources for food there. And one of the services, Miss Stacy Holland, the former CEO of when it was OPRC,
Mhm.
was talking about the fundraiser, the baby bottle fundraiser,
Yeah,
and
we
I was
still do
like,
that. So,
yeah. And so I was like, well, I wove through the crowd, and I was like, well, I need to speak with you. I'm kind of desperate. I don't know what to do. And she's like, give us a call. So I gave you guys a call, and I was a little hesitant at first, but it definitely was eye opening, and I learned a lot.
gotcha. So, walking through an unplanned pregnancy, homeless at the time,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
and your baby's father.
Hmm.
What are some of the thoughts and the emotions and feelings you had coming in the doors for the first time?
I was overwhelmed. I was scared. I was at a loss. I almost felt hopeless because I didn't know what to do. My only options at that time financially was, thinking of adoption, and felt like that was what kind of life could I give him if I,
Mm,
couldn't take care of him financially in any
mhm.
type of way, or if I even knew how to take care of a baby. Especially not out in the woods, you couldn't do that. So, I started kind of making progress and working towards, at least having some type of stability and
Mhm.
some financial security. My son's father got a job. It was hard for me to find a job pregnant. So we just kind of banked on him to be the sole provider for a
Right.
while. But yeah, I was very nervous. I was very scared and just had a lot of questions.
So as far as your plans for the pregnancy,
Hmm.
so I know you mentioned adoption was an
Yeah.
option for you. What were your plans about the pregnancy when you first came?
I didn't have any really. I know that I just was kind of sad that maybe adoption was the best choice. That he would be provided a better life that I could give him. Because I didn't see, a future of being able to raise a
Right.
child at that moment. I was just in the trenches. So, but yeah, that was my initial start. And when it was a couple months afterwards that I kind of came to the conclusion that I wanted to keep him.
Um,
And when I did, I'm glad I did because
yeah.
he's been my saving grace.
I'm
I'd
so glad.
probably be in a lot worse situation if I didn't have him in my life.
Yeah.
So.
Spoiler alert, she kept the baby.
Yeah.
So I love that though. Do you feel like when you were here that all of your options were presented to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, there wasn't overwhelming amount of options anyways to begin with. There's
Mhm.
only a few that you could choose from, but I know that religiously and in my faith base, I was against abortion. God gave me this life for a reason, whether it was to change my life around, learn a lesson, or to give to someone else who
Mhm.
might need a child. Whatever the answer was, he was following me.
Yeah.
But it was overwhelming just to sit there and think about what I wanted to do
Right.
if I wanted a baby to keep, and it kind of died down the feeling of being scared and
Mhm.
stuff, be talking with everyone and kind of feeling so the support and love all the way around. So
Yeah.
that was helpful to have someone that was in my corner.
If you don't mind sharing with us, once you came in, you got the pregnancy test, you had an
I
ultrasound,
did. It was my first
right?
ultrasound was here.
And how far along were you?
6 weeks and 6 days.
Okay. Did you see, hear a heartbeat?
Where I heard the heartbeat, and I think that was when reality really set in, and I was like, I can do this. I can do
Yeah.
this. And then started kind of really getting the ball rolling of being like, okay, what's the next steps?
Right.
So
Like, okay,
yeah,
this is real.
yeah,
Now what?
yeah.
So once you had the ultrasound, you talked with the client advocate. Did you get involved in any of the
It
other?
did. There's a few programs we got involved in. They had the Earn While You Learn program, which
Hmm.
was always very fun and interesting. Learned all different kinds of things, the sounds of baby language, the sounds of baby's cries, and what they mean and what they might need just by the sound of their
Right.
cries.
The way they shape their mouth
Yeah.
and the
Oh.
oh.
And then they would have, the purple crying stage, SIDS, shaken baby syndrome, which is a real thing. Because there's so many nights
Hmm.
I was so tired. If I didn't have that training, then I wouldn't understand the severity of something like that. Because you,
Right.
you don't know, you're hopeless. You don't know what to do.
I just appreciate you being here today and I love your
Yeah,
heart. And I would love for you just to share. Is there anything else that you want to share with anybody that we haven't talked about as a
absolutely.
closing thought?
Yeah, absolutely. So I come from a long line of foster care and adoption and drug use, neglect and abuse, and pretty much a whole generational curse, if you will. And even through it all, it may seem like a small thing, but the impact of having these resources available, the information and advocate support, at my reach was very significant because I needed somebody who was there for me, and I need that acceptance that I
Mhm.
didn't get growing up, and that helped me, feel like I had more strength to keep moving
Yeah,
forward, to be the mom I needed to be. And I think most people have a hard time truly believing in what they're capable of achieving, based off of how they were raised or some type of stigma. And asking for help doesn't mean that they're weak, in any type
right.
of way. And it's kind of where the world kind of views you now at this point, that it's a weakness. Um, this doesn't mean that you're lost either. If anything, it shows courage and strength. If you look up Martin King Jr.'s Quest for Strength, that's a really nice speech.
Yeah,
It can be hard sometimes asking for help, and it can feel humiliating. But in conclusion, you want what's best for your child, first and foremost. And even if it means that you have to kind of make your own self sacrifices and put your pride to the side, and do what's needed. And
mhm,
they Galatians 6:2 says, "Bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ." So that means that when you ask someone to help you bear a burden, you're giving them the opportunity to serve God and
yes.
share Christ's love for you as well. So
Well, thank
that's
you for
yeah,
letting us be a part of your story
no problem. And
and
thank you guys
showing
for
us
all the
that you
help
can
you
do
gave me.
hard things.
Yes, yes. I'm still doing hard things, but I'm
Yeah,
almost there. I'm not quite where I want to be at yet, but I'm making my way.
yeah. And Christopher just celebrated his sixth.
Sixth birthday.
That's
He's
crazy.
in kindergarten now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Maybe he can wave to everybody here in a little bit
Yeah,
and say
absolutely.
hey. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. I love you.
Yeah, I love
I'm
you
so
too.
glad to
Thank
be
you
a
for
part
all
of
your
your
help.
life.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Bye, guys.
Bye.